listening to the Pelicans Post Game Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumping where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostag. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever.
Yeah, he's been a pro all year. You know, he's been fantastic for us. Stepped up big in moments like these, and he deserves it. You know, he's put the work in. He's a pro. He wants to win. He's a winner at his core. You know, he's done this his whole career. So, just proud of him and the group. But way to finish, and you know, Herb hit him with a big, you know, kick out corner three. He went and made plays at the rim, got to the line, he guarded. So, Sadiq was phenomenal.
You think Jeremiah responded? It seemed like he had a very good second half.
Very good second half. I thought he impacted that game all the way into the fourth quarter, you know, until we went with Herb there at the end. But his defense, to me, is what's standing out. Like, on the ball, his aggression, turning guys full court, creating disruption, turnovers, activity. You know, he's chasing down rebounds and loose balls, and then, you know, keeping us organized. But I'm really focused on the defense right now with him, and he's been phenomenal.
Defensive overall, I think Jaren Jackson and Jock had 37 combined in the first half, 13 in the second half. What was the difference in
Boy, this sounds suck, man.
kind of slowing those guys down?
Our group just decided to guard. You know, there was a physicality about us, an energy about us. We finally took a stand. It's going to be hard to watch probably the first three quarters defensively, honestly, but maybe I'll just watch the fourth, you know, when Queen was big down the stretch. Z had some big defensive possessions, rebounds, steals, activity. It's just going to take physicality, aggression, and activity for us to guard. It's going to take multiple efforts. It doesn't come as easy to us as we'd like. We just got to stick with it, and I think that's the blueprint is what we saw in the fourth quarter. Just overall aggression, guard your man, throw out, you know, some great physicality out there, and the bigs were really, you know, fantastic down the stretch, but the guards were too on the ball. We were, you know, switching it up, but great team win.
And I think 73 points in the second half. I think it was 16 assists. The ball was really kind of moving there. Just what did you like offensively overall second half?
Yeah, I think that's it. You know, the ball movement, the sharing of it, finding quality shots. This was not an ISO-heavy game for us. I think even in the first half, there was great ball movement there, finding, you know, high-quality shots, trusting each other. I think that's what defense does in general. You know, I think in the fourth quarter you saw it even more. When you're getting stops, you're out running, you're willing to share it more. But I thought the group tonight, I don't know what we finished with assist-wise, 29. All right, almost 30. But, you know, that's the goal, is to share it every night. This group is an unselfish group, and I think we saw that tonight.
All right, let's go catch a bus.
Thanks. Let's get it.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all for being in this live, man. PPR for all things Pelicans. Guess what, man? Pels won tonight. How about that? Good grief. Ad clap is for the Pels win and for the diehards of the Pel Nation, man, who can finally have something to be proud of. The Pelicans, man, they put on a very good performance in this thing. Now, they had some issues, and I'm not going to lie about it, but the bottom line is getting Herb Jones back really helps, doesn't it? Getting Herb. Now, Herb didn't score a damn point in this game, but he did all of the right things, man, to help the Pels. He was out there assisting. He had 5 assists. He was out there playing defense. And just his presence, getting out on the floor and performing and doing this thing, was very proud. I was very happy to see Herb Jones back. I love to see the pairing when Herb and Saddiq Bey are in the game at the same time. I just think those guys play off each other well. Herb's defense, and tonight Saddiq Bey lit it up, man. I mean, he was handling the business. He took care of business. Zion, Trey, those guys, carried the day. Everybody had individual contributions, but outside of that, what really stood out for me in this game, fam, is the fact that the Pelicans really took it to the Memphis Grizzlies in the fourth quarter. They put up 40 points in the fourth quarter to take it from the Grizzlies. Now, there was a stretch where the Pelicans was on a 7-game run. They were on a 7-game run. 7-game run. 7-point run. Let's say that. I'm trying to get a winning streak. I'm trying to get a 7-game winning streak going on, man. Oh man, we just came off a 3-game losing streak. I'm trying to get a 7-game winning streak going on. But they were on a 7-point scoring spree until the foul happened, where Spencer hit he had a 4-point play. He hit the 3. He was fouled. He went to the line, hit the free throw, and that kind of kind of made the game a little closer. There was some little gimmicks going on back and forth. We didn't finish. Queen had an opportunity to get a dunk on the opposite end later on the drive, and he was hacked at the rim. Referees was just letting stuff go in this game. They were letting them be physical. I think they just wanted to go home. I don't think they wanted the referees they was letting them. The guys was getting knocked down. The referees was holding a whistle in this one, man. They were really holding a whistle. Several times Pelican people were hacked at the rim. I got to be honest and said the same thing with the Memphis Grizzlies. Refs really were allowing them to play in this one. But nonetheless, Zion had a critical steal toward the back end, got back down in transition, knocked the ball away back into the hands of the Pelicans, who went up in transition. Herb Jones, he was looking down near Queen, kind of pump fake like he was going to Queen, and then found Saddiq Bey in that corner. He knocked that 3 down, and that kind of helped seal the deal for the Pelicans. 40 points in the fourth quarter. Pels take it from them. In the game, clutchy win, man. 133-1 in 127. That stopped the 3-game slide. The Pelicans collect their 11th win. How about that? 11 win. They're 11-36, man. So very interesting, man. So let's hit on the stats, man, and kind of go on through this thing, because we kind of talked about the Pelicans 40-26 final period. The high scoring of the Pelicans starters, with Trey doing his thing, Saddiq Bey with 36 points, Zion all around play. Zion, 24 points, 11 rebounds. He had 11 rebounds. He had a couple of moves there, 4 assists to go along. Zion's complete game in this one was on display. Good to see him out and about playing offense and collecting 11 rebounds. How about Zion tonight to go along with that? So the perimeter shooting was on fleek for them tonight. Trey Murphy did one of his things tonight. It was just awesome, man, all the way around for the Pels, man. Their contribution from our big guys to kind of close this game out. Pels, 46 of 99 tonight for 46% from the field, 13 of 36 for 36 percent from downtown. The Grizz, 45 of 92 for 49%. They hit 18 3-pointers over 47 attempts for 38%. The Pelicans proudly went to the foul line. When you get an opportunity, there was a lot of hacking going on, but the referees did give the Pelicans 33 attempts from the foul line. The Pelicans hit 28 of 33 for 85%. Trust me, that was a big help for the Pelicans. They hit 85% on the free throws tonight in the Grizzlies building. They were 9 of 22 for 86%. 28 made points from the foul line versus 19 by the Grizzlies. Trust me, that helped. 49 rebounds by the Pelicans versus 47 by the Grizzlies. They had 18 offensive boards tonight. 34 assists by the Grizz versus 29 by the Pelicans. They kind of getting those assists up. The steals were out of control. The Pelicans had 14 steals against this team. They're just ridiculous. 14-4. The block game, Memphis 10-4 on the Pelicans. The turnovers, Pels kept the turnovers down. They had only 10, gave up 11 off versus 19 by the Grizzlies, and they collected 27 points off of Grizzlies' follies and collected 28 points off of the free throws. So a lot of positive numbers happening for the Pelicans. They did the right thing. They also won the points, the fast break battle, 18-16. They beat them in points in the paint as well, 62-48, and just was handling the business, man. So the Pelicans were handling up tonight, man. I just love the way they fought. They did not relinquish this game, and despite the fact that they did not have John Morant, he wasn't available. The Pelicans, you still have to take care of business against this team, and they did just that. Individually speaking, we look at some of the minutes right here. Saddiq Bey, like I said, 32 minutes, 36 points, 13 of 20 from the field, 6 3-pointers by Saddiq Bey. Who does he think he is? Trey Murphy. He hit 6 of 9 from downtown and 4 for 4 from the foul line, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, no turnovers by Saddiq Bey, +5. Had a stellar outing. Trey Murphy got back up into the 30s this game, 36 minutes, 32 points, 9 of 15 from the field. He was 2 of 7 from downtown, but perfect from the foul line, 12 of 12 by Trigger Trey. Perfection from the foul line. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 3 steals +6 by Trigger Trey. And then Zion in 33 minutes, 24 points, 9 of 17. 6 of 11 from the foul line, but 11 rebounds with those 24 points, 4 dishes to go along with 2 steals in the block, +12 for Zion Williamson, doing it on the offense and defense. Complete total games by Zion, Trey, and Saddiq in this thing. Derik Queen in 27 minutes. Had 8 points and was 2 of 8 from the field, but was contributing in so many ways. He collected 9 rebounds. He dished out 5 assists. He did have 3 turnovers. He had 3 steals. He was +7 in that playing defense, gutting it out against Memphis. Not a lot of high production from him point-wise, but a lot of other stuff was going on for DQ tonight. Herb Jones in 25 minutes, his first game back in a while, 0 points. He was 0 for 3 from the field and downtown, but Herb contributed in other ways. 5 assists. He had a couple of turnovers, but 2 steals, 2 blocks, +1. But Herb was out there not only just what he was doing playing defense, but a lot of what Herb was doing out there with the Pelicans didn't show up on the stat line. He was out there talking to people, orchestrating, pointing, doing what he usually does to kind of calm things down. He even handled the ball for him in spots to kind of stabilize the offense. And Herb Jones' intelligence really helped tonight for the Pelicans. It also helped with the poise later on in the game where the Pelicans were able to kind of put that 40-burger up on their ass in that fourth quarter. Let me tell you something. Off the bench, Jeremiah Fears, 23 minutes, 12 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown. He was perfect from the foul line, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, +5 for Fears. 21 minutes for Yves Missi. He had 8 points, 8 rebounds for Yves. As we constantly keep hearing the trade rumors. Multiple teams want Yves Missi in this. We'll see what the Pels do. 15 minutes for Carlo Mekovic, 5.6 boards, an assist and a steal for Carlo, 2 of 4 from the field. He's 1 of 3 from downtown. Jordan Poole, 12 minutes, 6 points. 2 of 8 from the field, 2 of 7 from downtown. Not much shaking with Jordan on the offensive end. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, +5 for him. And Peavy had 16 minutes. He struggled from the offensive side of it with 2 points, 1 of 5, shooting 0 for 3 from downtown, 2 rebounds to go along with it. But regardless or not, the Pelicans did gut this one out. This was a good gutty win, especially on the back end where things tend to get out of control for the Pelicans. We've seen that time and time again, but they were cognizant of not allowing the game to slip out of their hands. And I'm going to be honest with you. We were on that 7-0 run, and I was saying, man, we got him. And then when the foul happened with Cam Spencer and he did the 4-point play, I was like, here we go. Here we go. You know, but credit to them still gutting it out, Herb out there, and these players gutting it out and saying, man, no Q, now here we go. We're going to get this dub. We're going to use this energy, and we're going to go into the Sunday matchup against the San Antonio Spurs, feeling good about ourselves, getting the 11th win of the year. So that's what it's about. So at this point, if you're the New Orleans Pelicans, right, you gotta you gotta ignore what your record is, obviously, because it'll depress the hell out of you. It'll have you on Adderall and every damn thing, like a lot of the faithful are. So what has to happen is you gotta totally ignore that record and you gotta go one game at a time. I've got to win and keep stacking and keep stacking. You won't ever get to 500, but the reality is you have to keep focusing and stacking wins because you're trying to at least get the plan. That's what the focus is of the team. It ain't for any lottery or anything going on in the draft because they ain't working with nothing. But the whole point is they have to focus on trying to get to the plan. That's the thing. And I think there may be 7, 8, or 9 games. Y'all put it in the chat how many games they're out on the play-in. That's what they're looking at because that's all they have. Bottom of the Western Conference. So just keep stacking wins and playing gutty. You have an opportunity to win games if you can kind of replicate what you've done in this game and kind of clean up a few things, but the low turnovers, hitting 85% from the foul line, closing out the game strong with that 40, and just being smart, playing good defense, circulating the ball. That'll get you some wins. You know, you won't win all the time, but you'll win more than you lose if you continue to adopt that strategy. On the Memphis side of things, you've seen Jaren Jackson Jr., 32 minutes, 26 points, 12 boards for him. On the night, Jock Landale, the big, was 24 points, 11 rebounds in his efforts. And Cam Spencer had 21 points as well. In 28 minutes, he hit 4 3-pointers. But the Pelicans held tough. G.G. Jackson, 15 off the bench, 11 from Jalen Wells, and Cedric Coward had 13 points and 3 rebounds. Not enough. Pels get the dub. That's positive. So anyway, with that being said, the Pels get the win, and that gives them some confidence, and that gets us ready for a matchup against, guess who? The San Antonio Spurs. That's right. We got a matchup with the Spurs coming up. Pels 11-36. The Spurs are 31-14. Guess what, family? The Spurs are on a 4-game winning streak on our New Orleans Pelicans, right? So that's we got to be able to kind of break the streak. And currently, the Spurs are, handling the business. This is the final matchup with the Spurs in the regular season. We won't see them again. They're leading the regular season matchup 3-0. So we can't allow them to sweep us. We got to play with some pride about ourselves. We got to break the losing streak that we have with them. We have to go into San Antonio to do it. And to be honest with you, the San Antonio Spurs games have not been blowouts. The Pelicans and all of the losses in just this year, you had the first game they lost by 4, 120-116. They lost the second game in San Antonio, 126-119, and then the last one in New Orleans in early December, they lost by 3 points. So these games were close, in other words, and we have to be able to close out these games, man, and make sure we take care of business. So it's very good that we ended up getting Herb Jones back because that really helps. And about time we get ready for we get the matchup with the Spurs on the 25th, then you'll see Jose Alvarado return. So that'll give us another high energy effort guy to match up against this San Antonio Spurs team. And guess what? The Pelicans will be the healthiest they've been in a while. The only guy that'll be out will be DeJounte Murray. We got Herb back. We'll get Jose back for that matchup. So we'll have our full cupboard of personnel outside of Murray, right? So outside of Murray. So this is what we're looking at going into this matchup, man. And like I said, that's what I'm looking forward to, seeing Herb and them come back. The Spurs, they beat the Utah Jazz 126-119 yesterday. They're currently 4-1 over the last 5 games. They lost to the Houston Rockets back on the 20th. This team is playing really good basketball. We've seen Big Wembanyama shave his head, so you must mean business. The Pelicans are 2-3 over the last 5. Final matchup, like I said, against this team. We have to take care of business and against the Spurs. I mean, they're not a juggernaut, even though they're a really good team. They're 16-5 at home. We got our work cut out for us. because we 4-17 on the road, but anything can happen on any given night. This is literally the out of the Southwest Conference. The the San Antonio Spurs run the Southwest. The Pelicans are in the cellar. So we, like I said, we got to fight every night. We have to come and give a full effort, and we got to take care of business. Of course, y'all know the matchup indicator is giving 80% chance to the Spurs to win the game. And we understand why, man. We know what time it is, man. We know who we dealing with the San Antonio Spurs. We understand that this is a team with a lot of depth, and they got a lot of playmakers here, and they're well coached. But nonetheless, we still have to take it to them. I don't care who you got on your damn team. If you got 5 Jordans on your team, we still got to come to play. You look at the end of the rankings dealing with the Spurs, and there's a lot of top 10 stuff going on. They're 9th in points per game. The Pelicans are 22nd. You can see what they allow you to score 112.6. That's 7th in the NBA. The Pelicans are 28th in terms of opposition point per game. You can see they shoot 47% plus from the field. That's 13. Pelicans shoots 46, which is 21st. You can see the 3-pointers made. They make about 13 a game. Pelicans less than 11. They rank 18th. Pelicans 19th. The free throws, you can see is a different thing as too. The free throw attempts, they're 18 Pelicans 9, and the percentage is 12 Pelicans 15. Pelicans keep doing that 80%. They'll keep matching up. The rebounds, of course, they got Wembanyama. They're 2nd in the NBA in getting rebounds over 46 a game. Pelicans 43.4. The assists, middle of the pack, 26 a game, ranked 16. Pelicans less than 25 for 26. The turnovers, they are 13.8, that's 5th. Pelicans 14.7, that's 15th. Steals per contest, almost 8 is 19. Pelicans at 8.9 or 9, that's 8th in the league. And the blocks, you can see the blocks I would think the blocks were a lot higher if you had Wembanyama, but they're 17th ranked. Pelicans at 19. Like I said, the Pelicans are on a 3-game losing streak to actually a 4-game losing streak to the San Antonio Spurs, as we talked about the 3 previous losses that we've had, and we got to turn it around against this team, no doubt about it. Of course, you can see the individual or the statistics here team-wise is Wembanyama is the man. 24.5 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.6 on his blocks. He's the guy. You look at Foxy, he's averaging over 20 points a game with 6 assists. He provides that stellar play. So 2 20-point scorers. Castle at 17, 5, and 7. Phenomenal young player. Devin Vassell is averaging 15 points a game as well. 13 from Keldon Johnson. Champagny is 12. Barnes is almost 12 a game. Harper at 10.4. So like I said, this team plays really well together. They're well coached, but they're not a juggernaut. Pelicans come out with the proper energy and play with the right mentality. We should be able to at least make it a competitive game. They've handled the Pelicans and beaten us 3 times. It's the 4th and final time right here. So if we don't get the win this time around, this will lead to a regular season sweeping if we don't fix this stuff and turn it around, man. So, how do we do it? Well, let's get into the keys of victory, man. Y'all hit the like button as we proceed. The number one is you got to do your best to try to contain. I ain't going to say stop, but you got to try to contain Victor Wembanyama, which is which is tough within its own right? But you're going to have to try. He's a guy that, like I said, 24 and a half, 11 rebounds. You got to kind of try your best to keep him out of the paint and off the offensive glass. That has to be the highest priority for our team, right? We got to focus on Wemby. Also talking about the rebounding, right? The Pelicans have struggled to rebound against the Spurs because of the size. They got to focus on boxing out and preventing, fam, listen to this, these second chance points. This is one of the things that really kind of hurt us on some of these teams. Like the Pelicans will, do a really good job defensively, and then there's a shot made by the team. The offense, they'll offensively rebound the ball and get it back up. So we have to do a better job of boxing out and doing, like tonight, we had a lot of offensive rebounds tonight. We're going to need that same effort against this Spur team, right? The perimeter needs to be guarded, right? The Spurs, they really count on, and outside of Wemby, they got this thing with these 3-pointers, man. They shoot them high volume 3-pointers. They got guys like Vassell, Champagny. These guys be shooting them damn threes, man. So, closing out on them shooters got to be essential, fam. We gotta bring the closeout game. Pelicans did some positive stuff on closing out tonight. They closed out the game, but in the defensive side of it, they did a little closing out. They have to bring more of that against it. Everything we did tonight against the Grizzlies, we're gonna have to elevate that against the Spur team. You got to force them. You got to turn them over, right? The Pelicans have to turn over this team. They got to disrupt with the playmaking that leads to them easy fast break points for the Spurs. We got to turn these guys over. We got to turn them over, get into transition. We got to take the turnovers and convert them into baskets. We got to force these turnovers on them. And of course, one of my favorite keys here is that we have to continue, with Zion. Zion has been playing really well. And him and Trey and Saddiq Bey added his 30 plus tonight really helped the Pels. It really did, because Jordan Poole struggled in this game. Having Saddiq Bey to go above and beyond, because he averages 15 points a game. He scored 36 tonight. He more than doubled. He more than doubled his scoring average on the season. He went above and beyond. Along with Trey did his thing, and Zion added his points along with the 11 rebounds. We're going to have to need some of these guys off the bench to kind of step up and contribute in a game like this. Not just defensive, but we're going to need when you have Trey and Zion, because I don't expect Saddiq Bey to score 30-something odd points against the San Antonio Spurs. I wish he does, but I really don't think that's going to happen against the Spurs. Spurs have defenders that's going to get on you. They're going to try to rough you up and get physical with you. The Pelicans going to have to match that physicality. They're going to have to, close out on those shooters. They're going to have to be disciplined on those switches, because they're still trying to switch. But at the end of the day, it's just going to have to be a disciplined performance against the San Antonio Spurs to give them their first win against the Spurs this regular season and break up that 4-game winning streak the Spurs have on us. So and also this could serve as a catapulting moment for the Pelicans as well, to go into San Antonio and knock off the Spurs. And then continue on. This could be a building moment. Like I said, this is we will get Jose Alvarado back for that San Antonio game, and that will be the only Pelican. Because let's be honest, DeJounte Murray ain't gonna do shit for us this year. Let's be honest. But outside of him, we'll have a complete healthy team for the first time in a while. And if we can kind of keep that mentality, play like we did tonight, but elevate it. Be more disciplined, keep the turnovers down. When we get to the foul line, hit a high clip against them, and you should be able to come out with a win against this team. Like I said, they're not a juggernaut, even though they're playing well. At the end of the day, anybody can be beaten on any night. We don't know how they're going to come out and play. They might have a letdown or whatever. We don't know. All we know is if we play like what we did today, closing out the game, we don't make these dumb decisions, these bad mistakes. We communicate on defense, man. The Pelicans might be able to pull a shocker here. They might. So anyway, what's my call? Do I think they'll pull a shocker? No, I think they'll do a good job here, fam. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Pelicans will do a good job here against the San Antonio Spurs. I think they'll ultimately fall short to the Spurs. To be honest with you, I think they'll fall short to the Spurs in this one. But at the end of the day, it's still they still have to go there and handle the business, right? Like, this is a good win for the Pelicans, but I need to see more of this. I need to see them carry into the Spurs game the same type of basketball we seen tonight. If we can do that, and like I said, we need other guys to score off the bench and do their thing off the bench. We need more bench scoring. We need guys to step up. And like I said, it's just going to be interesting. I don't think they win this game, but I think they'll be very competitive in this matchup against the team. So if they win, man, that's a plus. But anyway, in the end of the day, I think it'll be a close one. But I think the Spurs might end up getting them. Spurs playing good basketball right now. The Pelicans still up and down. Let's see if they can land on good. Herb means a lot. So does Jose. But, man, like I said, it's just they are a roller coaster team. When I say they win, they lose. When I say they lose, they win. It's just they're so up and down, and I don't know where to go with them. They're totally unpredictable, and they're just going to have to prove it. They're going to have to show me. They have to show me that they can consistently do things like they did tonight against other teams and stronger and better competition with the San Antonio Spurs. And hey, listen, fam, do not tell, y'all make this secret, do not tell Tasha and Sean that I said anything good about the damn Spurs. I do not see them in the chat, so we're going to just keep it like that, all right? Bet. All right, shout out to Jay Carv, Jaden, Lavelle, Miggy. Shout out to you, my brother. I see you. What's up, Steph? Shout out to them queens out there. Cut it out, Lavelle. He said, nah, Queen lazy. Hey, man, listen, brother be out there playing, man. You know, his production goes up and down, but I just kind of factor that in him with him being a rookie. But he does make plays. He's assisting. He's rebounding. You can't take that away from him. He had 8 points tonight, man. But, you know, like I said, these guys are rookies, man. So, I kind of give him a little bit more leeway. All right, Jordan, Bird Talk, Slim. Shout out to you. Who that, Professor? Good to see you. Young Kaluminati. Much love, fam. Appreciate you. Jordan 437, much love. 504 Cole, big ups to you, brother. Good to see you there. What's up, Benny? Shout out to brother Benny as well, man. As well. Hawk 504 Cole says Hawk game just has not grown or evolved at all. May needs to go to the G League to play more. We talked about Jordan Hawkins. We spent like on 2 shows ago, I spent like 10 minutes or so talking about Jordan Hawkins. This is the first time I talked about Jordan Hawkins that long. He hadn't done anything to deserve the right to be talked about, right? There are other players that's out there busting their tails that should get the accolades. Jordan Hawkins is not doing anything. He looks the same size. I don't think he picked up any weight. I don't see him gaining any muscle. I see when guys brush up against him, it's almost like they're knocking him into the stands. Like we seen what Trey Murphy did, right? Trey Murphy, you know, was when he stepped in the league, Trey was a skinny dude, right? You know, he grew. He went from 6'8" to 6'10", but ultimately he also picked up weight. He got stronger. Like tonight when he finished through contact to do the reverse and didn't know that he reversed the ball. It went up and in, and he looked and said, "Did I make that?" "Yeah, you made it." But that's because, you know, he picked up that strength. Now, Jordan Hawkins wouldn't have been able to done that. He wouldn't have been able to do that. If the guy would have brushed into him, he would have knocked him all into where the popcorn at. So, I mean, it's just, you know, he hasn't developed the way you want. This is his 3rd year, right? The first year, second year, yeah, I got you. You get the first year, okay, that's a rookie. The second year, sophomore slump. 3rd year, you're supposed to be all about your business. You shouldn't be going up and down, shooting the ball. I mean, he's shooting very poorly. And you're at practice, you're getting the threes up, and I just didn't understand. He rolled the bench for a long time this entire season, sporadically getting time. And I was thinking, if you're not going to use your 1st round draft pick, at least send him to the G League where he can play consistently and gather minutes, shoot the ball, this kind of stuff. Send him to the G League. He wouldn't be the first or the last pick, 1st round pick, to go to the G League. Right? He didn't do them. They just kept him on the end of the bench, elected to pay him $7 million. And I'm like, you got a shooter there, but the guy really doesn't have any confidence, man. I mean, he really doesn't have any confidence. And now it turns out Yves Messi and all these trade rumors, and more than likely when they move him or move Jose, whoever they're going to move, he might be a throw-in player for the deal. Which is sad because you would like Jordan Hawkins to stick around if you can find the proper personnel that can inspire him to elevate his game. I would have sent him to the G League if I was going to use him. You know, you got Bryce McGowan, who was a 2-way player playing over a 1st round draft pick. You're spending $7 million on. That's what I was like. I don't understand. Like if I was a general manager or the VP, I would not be playing a 2-way player. I like McGowan, don't get me wrong. But if I got money invested in a guy and that's $30+ million, he would not be starting over my 2-way guy. That just doesn't make sense economically, and it hurts the ego. I ain't gonna say the ego, but the confidence of a guy you playing through. Why you got me here paying me $30 million if you're gonna let the cheap 2-way guy do it? Why am I here? You see, it's the same thing with Jordan Hawkins. He ain't making what Poole making, but he's making what, $7 million, and McGowan's is making what? You know, a fraction of that, but he's getting the time? Absolutely not. Go to the G League. That's what a developmental league is for. To send guys, because Hawk needs more developing. If the Pelicans can't develop them, let the G League do it. Never did it. They just let them sit on that bench. They just let them sit on that bench. And there was none of these coaches, whether it was Willie Booger-Nose Green or James Borrego, none of these guys had the forethought to look at their players and find out which ones were in the rotation and guys that weren't going to get the rotation. So we need to send them somewhere where they can develop because I don't have minutes for them. Right? I don't have a spot for him right now. So instead of letting them die at the end of the bench, let me send him to the G League. At least he can play. They didn't even think about that. Now think about this. We got scouting reports, not only just overall on teams and how they like to play, but we also have scouting reports on player tendencies. If you're a defensive player like Herb Jones and you're so good, not because you naturally at it, he works on that, but he also studies the scouting reports of the guys that he's going to be matched up with. He understands what hand, if they're left-handed or right-handed, or they're ambidextrous, or what player like to go with this percent. The analytics go with it. What percentage of the time they like to go to this side and that side. They got all that broken down. So if you study your scouting report, that's what Kobe Bryant used to talk about. Him getting serious with the scouting report and studying what guys are doing so he could take it away from him. If a guy likes to go right, he tries to force him left, makes him uncomfortable. You see what I'm saying? So, that if we have scouting reports on other people's team, you best believe the Pelicans supposed to have scouting reports on their own players, meaning they know the tendencies of their players, where they are in their development, and if they're not there, how can they get them there while they're taking care of the team? Send them to the developmental league. Send them there and let them develop. And then when you need them and you see them balling, okay, we got times, we're going to bring them back. The Pelicans have their own developmental team, the Beham Squadron. Send them there. But it's now to the point where they're trying to force minutes on Hawkins because they're trying to put him in trade with somebody. And not by itself, but a throw-in perhaps. So we're going to see how it goes, but that's just my philosophy on the Hawk thing. I think it's just they don't develop well. Look at Yves Missi. They don't develop these young players well, man. They really don't. They don't develop them well. Over the time, we've seen really talented players come here. We've seen a guy as really good as Derik Queen. His skill set, you've seen that skill set travel with him from Maryland. He got a confidence. He know how to play basketball. He a big that doesn't have a big game. I mean, like in terms of how he plays. I mean, he got all these shifty moves and stuff like that. The guy didn't even have a preseason, man. He was hurt. He got hurt in the summer league. They missed the preseason and came back later in the regular season. And it's almost like he had a preseason, like he was connected that whole way. That's just natural. Same with Fears. But we need to have coaches that understands the great abilities of our young players and our veterans and know how to bring that out. We simply don't have that. We got guys that know basketball, but half-ass. I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but it is what it is when your team is an 11-36 team. You can't always put it on the injuries. You got to look at the coaching. You got to look at players, and it's a combination of both. In some of these games, we had teams that were hurt that we let off the hook. We had games against really good teams that we allowed to escape because we didn't close the game. We had several games we could have won, but we was messing up at the free throw line, right? We weren't running any schemes. We was just jacking up three-pointers, bad communication. It's a bunch of games that cost us because of bad communication on the back end, guys not knowing what they're supposed to be when they're switching it, when you're not supposed to switch it, all this kind of stuff. So it was not just injuries. People always throw the injury monster out there. But you are going to be expected to win even when players are hurt. Guess what? I know that's a shock to some people out there that like to throw the injury monster, but you're not going to have all of your players all of the time, and you're going to be tasked with winning games even if the players are hurt. Some players are hurt. That's just how it go. Memphis, the first game of the year, we had Memphis. We let Memphis off the hook. John Morant was missing all of it. They had like 7 or 8 players missing. That was supposed to be a win, and that happened several times. Hell, we let Detroit off the hook the other night. Cade Cunningham, who playing at a high level, wasn't available. We couldn't take advantage. So, I mean, when they're missing their top guys, we got to go in there and get that victory. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ain't nobody caring about whether we hurt, and we ain't caring about whether they hurt. It's an equal deal, right? But anyway, like I said, man, we'll see. Against the Spurs, I want my Pels to go in there and knock the Spurs down. Yeah, I want them to knock them out, and that'll be a good confidence-building win going forward. It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. Could it be like the Houston matchup? Y'all remember the Houston matchup last year? Could it be something similar where the Pelicans go in there and knock off the Houston team? Right? Could we do that? We got Herb. Are they feeling spunky enough to go in there and shock the Spurs? Because that would be awesome to go in their building and knock them off. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway. Anyway, with that being said, man, Jade, we ain't gonna do the call in tonight. I'm gonna let y'all know when we do the call in. Once again, fam, I'm gonna put a post. I'm gonna let y'all know at bottom line. All right, yeah, I agree. 504, I got you, man. He says Hawk can be a productive player. Yeah, I got you. The coach's inability to develop, Zion Trey develop, it hasn't really gone that great either. You're right. That's what I'm saying. They haven't developed. Zion still doesn't have a consistent mid-range shot. I remember the first couple of years when we had Zion Williamson here. Zion was hitting three-pointers confidently. Put one in the chat if y'all remember that. I know it seemed like it was a long time ago. Like it's a total different player. But I remember when Zion Williamson was taking three-pointers and confidently knocking them down. He had a nice three-point shot. It wasn't Steph Curry or nothing, but he was rising up and taking them three-point shots and knocking them down. And then as time went on, he just settled in and said, I'm going to just be a brute around the basket. And listen, he finished over guys today. Like he ran right by Cam Spencer ain't want no part of Zion. He opened the door, laid out the red flow. Zion went right past him and went right over the top and got the layup toward the back of the game. Cam Spencer he ain't want no part of Zion. But what I'm saying is his game would look so radically different if he had a consistent and confident mid-range shot. It would open up a lot. It would also give him that confidence to take those threes again. So I just wish at times, like, work with Trey. Trey is your dog, right? Trey's knocking three-point shots down near midcourt, man. Just go there and work with Trey. I'm pretty sure he'll give you some game on shooting the ball, dog. How you got Trey Murphy, trigger Trey Murphy as a teammate, and you're not picking his mind on, hey, man, work with me on my three-point shot, work with me on my mid-range. Even, a good little shot could be like DQ used, right? When he was in the paint, he backed down the guy, then backed away with the soft touch fadeaway jumper. That could be something Zion could use. Like Zion can back him down and then kind of fade away with the soft touch. But all that has to be worked upon, man. They got these guys got to get it themselves, right? They got to figure it out, man. You got to figure it out one way or the other, man. But anyway, like I said, man, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. I did a Pelican update report for the family members. We're talking about some of the latest rumors. If you didn't get an opportunity to check that out, we released it right before the Pels game tonight. It covers a lot of the rumors that's going on with Macy, the different teams, and there's more rumors shaking and baking. And like I said, the trade deadline is getting close, fam. Really close. It's February the 5th, and these rumors going to continue to escalate. I don't buy a lot of stuff with Herb. I'm hearing the stuff with Herb. More rumors. They're starting to rattle up and really delve up from Herb. I don't think the Pelicans let the Herb go. More stuff on Jose. A lot of stuff on Yves Macy is out there as well. Several teams, Toronto, New York, Indiana, and more, all interested in acquiring them. But what you going to do for us if that's the case, right? So it's a lot of stuff going on. We'll follow it. But anyway, with that being said, tonight the Pelicans get the victory. We take care of business and knock off the Memphis Grizzlies, and we get our 11th win of the season by beating on and closing out strong over the Grizzlies, 133-127. We'll be back on Sunday. And the Pelicans travel to San Antonio, 6 p.m. tip-off time to get that victory. Let's see if they can make it pop. With that being said, y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Big Q, shout out to DC and Lex and you, the flocking community, man. We got one tonight. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love. Peace.
You're listening to the Pelicans Post Game Report on the PRO Media Network. For all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumpin' where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostag. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thehootitdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thehootitdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or